Good evening.
I got your shot at that.
Good evening. Welcome to the April meeting of the Athens Recreation Advisory Board. It's April 17th. The time's 5:33. We're calling this meeting to order. Unfortunately, tonight we don't have a quorum, so we're going to skip over real quickly the approval of the agenda, and we'll push disposition of the March minutes to next month. We don't have any new business unless someone has surprised me with something that wasn't in the emails. So we can push forward to continuing business. First up is filling our vacant member seats. Last month we sent our recommendations up the chain to Mayor Patterson. He reached out for some clarification on how many vacancies there were. And have not heard from him since. Catherine Ann, have you heard anything? Okay.
No, follow up with him. I meet with him tomorrow.
Okay. Feel free to loop me in on an email if you want. But I figured, I know that there's a process to this and it can't be slow, so I didn't want to start pestering just yet. But it would be nice, especially going into summer, which is busy with more programming and more things to kind of experience about what Parks and Rec does. It would be nice to have someone in to kind of experience all of that this summer. So I guess just stay tuned. Hopefully we'll be able to announce our new member pretty soon. The other bit of continuing business is just to announce that next month, May, we will be meeting jointly with the Athens Municipal Art Council. We've shifted our usual meeting date from Thursday to Wednesday, so we'll be meeting on Wednesday, May 14th at 5:30, and we'll be meeting at Arts West. So, Catherine, are those meetings, I'm sorry, I don't know, are those meetings open to the public? I know they're not recorded the way ours are. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So while that meeting won't be recorded or streamed via the government channel, they are still open to the public to come and hang out with all of us. So again, once again, May 14th, normal 5:30 meeting time. The rec board will meet with the Municipal Arts Council just to share what we've been doing and also share with plans for the future as well. I'm looking forward to it. It's fun to meet with them. And I haven't been to Arts West in a really long time. I'm excited to see. And I don't think, so the next thing on our continuing businesses is the updates from ad hoc committees, but I don't think we have anyone really here who's can update.
Yeah,
we
don't have any. Yeah, we haven't had a meeting yet.
You haven't made, okay. That, again, continuing is sometimes code for just touching base and seeing how we're all doing on that. So, all right, those were the only three things that I wanted to touch on this meeting before we can just jump right into the staff report and hear what's going on with you.
Yeah. Cool, that's it. I'm done.
It's
Summer hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Okay, so the sculpture in front of the community center, which definitely overlaps with one of the ad hoc committees, we've met with the artist to fine tune some of the details about the sculpture and problem solve basically, the size and whatnot. And I took that information to Joshua with Joshua Tree Landscaping because now we need a little bit of a base built into the hardscaping so the sculpture can be higher. And so he has that information, so he's aware, he's working on it. We've been waiting for the weather to dry up a little bit to do any of the concrete work, and also the landscaping wall that we're gonna do around that spot that just looks like a giant mud island now. So things are gonna happen there. It's just, we're waiting for the rain to stop. So that's where we are with that. We are still waiting on an estimate from Miller Monument for the brick engraving, so that's why we haven't really made any headway on the brick engraving sponsorship and kind of working through that, but that's okay. We still have time to figure it out, but we would like to get some sort of idea of cost before we start putting it out there, and make sure that, we can get someone to do it too. That's important. So then the West State Street Park, there's a couple things going on. The new restrooms, I did have to push back the manufacturing of the building a little bit for the state permits. There's just more information that they needed as far as engineered foundation plans and whatnot. So I'm working with BDT again on that. And we were going to contract out a new gravel parking area at West State Street Park for overflow parking and near the West Side Community Gardens, but then that contractor couldn't do it anymore. So then we were like, well, we're going to do it in-house. And now things are changing in-house, and so I'm reaching back out to find somebody to do that for us, so so that we can get that done this year. Hopefully sooner than later, more sooner than later. Things are just always evolving. And we're still waiting on an estimate to renovate the offices in the community center. So that's kind of in limbo for right now, but hopefully that will happen soon. And we did get to select the flooring that we're going to put in the child care rooms and the conference room in the community center. And so that's exciting. So we'll schedule that, and hopefully that'll, really it can only happen in late May or mid-August, whenever we don't have childcare programming happening. So if it doesn't happen this next month, then it's going to be August, but that'll be fine, because then the kids will have one more summer of destroying the carpet of loving the carpet, I should say, in the community center. And then, no real movement on the janitor closet turning into a single-user family restroom, but that's still, someone's working on it, so that's good. Skate park, we have met with Ridge Runner Custom Construction and Trout Electric to really confirm what needs to happen in order to move the electric, so that we can expand the skate park in that area. And so Ridge Runner's gonna kind of revise the plan and the estimate based off of his meeting this week with Trout Electric, and get that to me. So his hope is that they can start in May, sometime in May, on that skate park work. So we'll see. I know the weather's just been hard for any concrete work and any earth work. So TBD on that one. Holding pattern for the sculpture at Sells Park, as far as someone else is working on it and we're just waiting. And some more of the same at the Highland Park shelter. We're waiting for the weather to dry so that we can get the concrete poured for the new shelter house at Highland Park. And then of course the shelter house will be built, and then they will tear down the old shelter house once that's there. So that's exciting. Yeah. And then we're wrapping up our strategic planning process. So Aaron and I have been working with Mission Met, and we've created a 3-year strategic plan, and we'll have our retreat next Friday, with our staff, and get, input from them, and then we'll be, launched for our first year of our strategic plan. So we're really excited. We've put some thought into this and a lot of work into creating it, and hopefully it will help us just become stronger.
Will you be able to share more specifics at the AMAC meeting?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I sure can. I had to think about the time. No, that's on, because we have a calendar that we have created for a whole year, and I had to think to make sure that we would have our updates from our full staff, because full staff haven't seen it yet, so we're going to share it with them tomorrow and then give them a week to kind of give us feedback. They've provided input, but they haven't seen it. And so, yes, we should be able to have our revisions done and ready to go.
Great.
By then. So yeah, we're pretty excited. I'll just keep it a secret until then.
Is this your first time doing it since you took over?
Yes. Yeah. And so we're going to revise our mission and our vision, and we're going to add values, and we even have a motto. I know. So we're excited about that, and then we have focus areas and then goals for each focus area, and they're 1-year goals that help you achieve your vision for the focus areas, and then you just create new goals every year, and boom. At the end of 3 years, you've accomplished your plan. I love it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So our special events, still, working through our community center 25th anniversary celebration and all the activities. We had our Bubble Bash 5K, and it was a really great turnout. That was our first time doing a 5K, so there were over 50 people who participated. I know, we were really excited. And then lots of kids loved the foam pit, you know, it was great. It was hard for the runners to run through the foam pit because there were kids hidden in there. So we'll figure out like a kid's foam pit and then like a runner's foam pit next time. But we also collected 100 toiletry items. So we had encouraged people to donate a toiletry item, and we donated that to my sister's place. And so that was a really cool thing to be able to tie into our Bubble Bash. We are having our egg hunt this Saturday. It's been an exciting event planning. We normally have, I feel like we have had some lucky events. And so it was time for us to have just a few hiccups in our event planning, I guess, because typically we hold it that Friday because all of the school districts are out, but the Athens City School District is in school tomorrow because of all of the snow days. So we moved it about a month ago to whenever the school district, you know, let us know that. It might have been a month and a half. I don't know. Moved it to Saturday, which is also Rathacon. So that's exciting too. And then we found out that there's a protest happening, and so hundreds of people show up for that. So parking is going to be a little bit of a challenge on Saturday. But I think we've kind of communicated to the farmers market, and we got in touch with the organizers of the protest, and we're working on overflow parking signage and trying to get parking in other areas, and people are being encouraged to carpool or walk or bike. And so hopefully we can get a lot of people still participating in the egg hunt. It'll be really fun. We've made some changes based on what we have learned in the past. So hopefully getting the candy will be a little bit easier than in the past. No long lines, maybe. No promises. But anyways, come out to the egg hunt. It's from 1 to 3 p.m. Egg hunt starts at 2 on Saturday. Working on the concerts in the park planning, so those start in June. They'll be June, July, and August. We have an art in the park going on right now, so that was a makeup date from a rain date earlier in the month, and that's Paint at the Pond at Sells Park. And so the next one's going to be Friday, May 2nd at Richland Avenue Park at 5:30. And that will be some sort of nature art, so that will be really exciting. And we've been planning our movies in the parks. We've got soccer going, so that's also really exciting, and kind of our regular, run programming that we do. Let's see, we are working through, this is like new as of today, but a Lift a Neighbor program. And the idea is that it's kind of like a pay it forward. We're asking, the community and any sponsors once we get all the details right, but we don't have all the details right yet, so it's not like launch, but we're in the planning phases of how the community can buy a day pass for people in need so that they can use our facilities, which include showers and the exercise rooms. And the walking track and all that fun stuff. And I've already talked to the Gathering Place, and they're really excited to participate and help with toiletries and help support some of the day pass purchases. So stay tuned for that. That one's going to be something really cool to bring to the community center. And pre-K registration is still open, but it's filling up fast. We only have a few spots left. And of course, we are in the throes of summer camp planning. At Arts West and in arts in general, the Los Flamingos Theater Company is wrapping up their performances next week. I'm trying to, there's some stuff that's been on here for a while, but the gallery, the Taste of Athens gallery, we had 29 submitted artists, or artists submitted their work. And the gallery will be May 5th through 11th with a reception on the 9th. And so every artist will have at least one piece of their work that they submitted showcased in a gallery in Arts West. So it won't just be on the walls. We used panels that were donated to us and kind of created some moving panels, walls, gallery space. We've got our dance classes and our music classes. We're hiring part-time people to help out, a program coordinator and a building supervisor. And we've also funding in the community center. If you haven't been there recently, we have some artists and our childcare staff, and they've really enjoyed doing murals in the community center. So they've done one in the one of the childcare rooms. They just finished one in our community room, and I've asked them to do more. And so I've selected a few more spaces in the community center for them to continue putting murals up. And so it's really, really exciting to have some vibrancy in the community center. And our parks, Emily would be really excited about this. We have our AEDs and our cabinets now. We just got our cabinets this week. So we just have to program those and then get that information to all the dispatch and then install them in our parks. And so that's pretty exciting to have. They're going to be locked, so that's why we have to program them. And the idea is that when someone calls 911 at the AED cabinet, then the dispatch is going to be able to give them a code, and they will unlock it from there and get the AED. And that does work in emergency situations. You know, it's not as like fast as just grabbing it and getting the AED, but I think there's a lot of more concerns of the AED not being there whenever it is needed. So that's kind of what we went with. And we have a couple water fountains that have been waiting to be installed, and I think we're just gonna have to contract those out because our city folks are just really, really overwhelmed with work right now. So hopefully we'll get that in soon. And we had a big group from the West Side community neighborhood, the West Side neighborhood, do a big cleanup last Saturday and today. And so it was a lot of different areas that are kind of in the woods off of West State Street Park, but also all along the bike path. And so we're really, really grateful for them. I just want to do a shout out for them because they just organized this on their own. And, you know, they worked with us to see, you know, what they could and couldn't do. And we helped with, you know, dumpster and moving stuff. So it was a nice collaboration. It was great. And another exciting thing, we have an 18-hole disc golf course being installed in the riparian area behind the community center right now. So that is all volunteers donating time and material. So that's a super cool project as well that's happening. And our pool is fully staffed. Woo! So now we just have to get everyone through training. So we do have a handful of folks still that need to be recertified or fully trained. So we're trying to get that going so that we can keep them. But we're overflowing with staff, which is exciting. We had 59 people return,
Wow.
which is really amazing. And yeah, it was pretty cool to see that happen.
Are you thinking of doing the pool party again for?
Yeah, for the opening.
The Friday before?
The Friday,
Saturday?
yeah, yes. So we are planning on opening up that Friday before the Saturday we open, which is Memorial Day weekend. I don't want to get the dates wrong. And we'll have the pool passes, you know, memberships for sale, and we'll also do the just kind of a running swim test so that people can get their swim test completed for the season or go practice for the first time. The water will be cold, but yeah.
And I know that it's early days, but have you, schedule-wise, for things like lessons, lap swim?
Yeah, everything's
Swims-
gonna be pretty much the same.
The same?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We will have sensory swim happening for more Sundays, so they'll start a little bit earlier. We didn't want to start them too early because the water's still really cold, and so that kind of defeats the purpose of a sensory swim. And then we'll still have tot time as well. So, but everything is pretty much how we programmed it last year. That's how we're going to program it.
Same with the early opening of the splash pad?
Yes, yeah, the free
what was it,
opening.
10 to 12, or 9 to 12?
9 to 12, and then the party room, sometime in the middle of last summer, we decided to open up the party room for rent during the free splash pad hours, so treat it like a shelter house reservation sort of.
Okay.
And that worked out, but that's 10 to 12.
Okay.
To give staff time to,
Right.
you know, make sure it's set from the night before.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be wild and exciting. We'll start.
What happens?
I've been using
okay,
wild a lot this week.
I'm being serious here.
Uh-huh.
What happens? Last year you had some people that had been asked to leave. Do you keep those names on file, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do. We had enough people last year that we had a wall dedicated to them of their pictures. And some of those people were trespassed formally by the police, and so they don't get to come back until I lift it. And some of those will not be lifted. Others have been lifted. So yeah, we do keep track of that because we have a wall. That's our record. That helps us with, and I mean, I have to laugh because that's just, if you don't, you cry. So it's hard sometimes, working with so many people. So, and meeting the needs of everybody. And we've just got a diverse community. So yeah.
Well stated.
Yeah.
In terms of membership, are you kind of at where you expect to be this time of year? Are you above it, below it?
Oh, we don't start selling memberships until, that Friday before.
Okay.
So yeah, we're exactly where we normally are.
Wait, why did I think you did, or you were thinking about the Christmas thing, but you didn't because it was on a different fiscal year or something? Is that
Yes.
okay.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So that was if we could do presents, or there was
Yeah.
some sort of final push in the year to get money, and then I said no because I would like that pool money for 2025 to be in the 2025
Fair.
fiscal year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes a big difference. But we do have some of our organizations that we typically work with. So like the Pride Swim, that's already booked. The Dog Swim's already booked. Our National Night Out is, on the books. And then we'll open up rentals on May 1st. And that's when we'll open up registration for the first session of swim lessons.
Nice.
Yeah. So May 1st, all that will open up. And then no season sales until right the day before we open. Good question. So we'll start filling the lap pool next week. We just got our pumps back today from some of them being rebuilt. That's just kind of a part of keeping them working. You got to rebuild them every few years, so that's what we do. And okay, so then the upcoming staff changes. So we have a lot of staff changes coming up, and we hired a new program specialist for Parks and Recreation. So they'll begin the 28th, and they'll have 2 weeks to train with our current program specialist for Parks and Recreation. So that's the person who will be overseeing the pool. So they're going to be, they're starting at the most exciting time. It's better than starting like halfway in the middle of the season. So he'll get some time to get to know the staff and train with them. And but there will be a new program specialist this year, which we're really excited about having him. And then we are now hiring for a program specialist for child programming and education. And our hope is that whoever we hire into that position will also get an opportunity to train with the current program specialist for child programming and education. And then we have requested an additional program specialist for athletics and fitness be added to the staffing ordinance, and that has been reviewed in committee, so that'll go into first reading on Monday. So we had Vanessa retire, and I mean she's still working there, but her position really isn't a position that it was kind of like I really felt like we needed the program specialist for sports and fitness to come back, as was one that we used to have, to help us, really to help Erin, our assistant director, be more of an assistant director and less of a programmer, because that's kind of where she's doing both hats right now with our sports and fitness. So ideally I would like both of but I know I could only get one, so I kind of traded. So when Vanessa retires, her position will be abolished, and we'll have that other position come in, and so we're kind of like splitting up her duties and trying to automate some of the duties that she's been doing and try to figure that out. So we're gonna have a wild summer. It's gonna be so crazy.
It's gonna be wild.
It's gonna be wild, y'all. But hang in there with us. We just people are moving on, so it's time for us to welcome in new people.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's never not wild. Summer should be, I think, the busiest time. Everyone's in the parks, everyone's
I was
recreating.
like kind of hoping that this summer would be like just a little bit easier than last summer, and the summers beforehand, but it's okay. New challenges. And that's it.
Well, thank you. I think the only thing I might add is, particularly because we won't be on the channel next month, is that we will likely move the rec board meetings to the community center for where we use, what is it, the
Oh yeah, June, July,
and August
Yeah.
for, to coincide with the concerts in the park,
Yeah.
which those, we meet at 5:30, those concerts start at 6. So in order to facilitate both you popping in and then being able to attend the concerts, and then we are able to adjourn and maybe go and attend the conferences or concerts will be right there.
Yeah.
And I think most folks, we did that last year for a couple of months, and I think it was just kind of fun to see how many people were there.
Yeah.
Like, see, the programming in action. So June, July, and August, we will be off screen, off channel, and we'll be over at the community center until fall.
Awesome.
So that's the only thing I would like to add based on that.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have questions or comments for?
Thanks for all that you do.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Woo.
Exciting stuff. Does anyone have any announcements, other business things they'd like to put on mine or Catherine Ann's radar for next month?
I just want to start selling bricks if we can.
I
That's
know.
what we decide.
Yeah.
Start raising money.
I know.
What's the holdup then with the quote?
I don't know, other than just we should probably
Yeah.
Sure.
adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn. Anyone want to?
I'll second.
Right, so motion, let's get out of here. Have a good night.